Welcome to our Mind the Moment Tuesday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. And this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss together as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm delighted to be here this morning with Zeenat Potia. And she is a mindfulness instructor as well as a mentor now with our Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare mindfulness program and longtime meditator. So good morning, Zeenat.
Good morning, Suzanne, and hello, everyone. Really delighted to be with you this morning.
It's great to have you this morning. And I love the theme that you had mentioned that you are going to be speaking on this morning. So for everyone that's joining us, if anyone's new, we're so happy to have you here. So what we'll do is Zeenat will, lead us in a guided meditation practice and share some thoughts with us. And after that, we'll have time for questions. So we usually meditate about 10 to 12 minutes, as much time as we can squeeze in. If you have any general questions now, you're more than welcome to go down to the bottom of your screen and click on the chat. And you can type any of the questions that you might have right now, and we can get to those in a little bit. But also Zeenat will be posing a question, so we'll be asking folks to chime in. You can click on the drop-down menu and click on everyone, and that will give you a chance to see everyone's comments. So Zeenat, what shall we start with this morning?
Okay, well, thank you, Suzanne. It's you may have noticed that the days are getting longer, bit by bit, moment by moment, day by day, there is more daylight. And so the reflection I'd like to offer this morning is welcoming back the light. And the invitation in our sharing, which is really an opportunity for us to connect. Zoom has been such a silver lining of the pandemic. And so this opening to the here and now and opening to one another can be such an enlivening and nourishing practice. And so please share if in your life you are noticing any glimmers of light or hope or gladness. It's a powerful practice to notice the good and to grow the good. And so really inviting any reflections to come in the chat.
Well, I'll start us off. Zeenat and I were just discussing how the weather here has been so erratic that some days it feels like spring. So it really gets you in that mode of thinking about spring. And my daughter is graduating from college this year. So we can actually, this particular daughter, we can actually have a party for her. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah. How about you, Zeenat?
I am also joining Rizvania in appreciating these flowers. I was telling Suzanne that I actually try to buy flowers for myself once a week. If I remember and if it works out, it's not a tight thing. I'd like to keep, it's a practice to keep things very relaxed as much as I can. And so the color of these just popped out at me, and I bought two different types of things, and I like to put them together, arrange them. So I'm appreciating the pop of color.
Yeah, they're lovely. Cherishing interactions with friends and family. Yes, for sure. Appreciation from family. That's lovely, Kristen.
Yeah, and I want to just also encourage folks that appreciation or noticing glimmers of light doesn't have to be big epiphanies or big things. It can be really the practices to notice the ordinary with the eyes of awareness, and then the ordinary begins to sparkle, begins to really with the awareness of the present moment, it kind of comes into focus. Beautiful, Tara. For songs, yeah. It's so noticeable. You can it's like the birds get a memo or something. Something with there's more light, and then suddenly you notice them more. They're more alive or present.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Loretta's comment too about being able to be in the light on the way to work and on the way back. That's a real blessing. Oh, pink and yellow tulips. Oh, that's great. I love the Valentine's gift for ourselves. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Shall we move to practice? We can take all of these gifts that we've received from one another and bring it to our sitting practice. So just coming into a comfortable upright posture. Shoulders can be down a little bit and a nice wide open torso. Take a moment to just attend to the back of your neck to see that it can be relaxed and you can release any tension that's being held there. And then gently closing the eyes. You may be more comfortable with eyes open and a soft gaze, and that's fine. Beginning this morning with this wellspring of appreciation, of gladness for whatever. The content will be different based on our own unique manifestations and particularities of our lives. We have shared values and shared teachings, and then the expression, the embodiment is unique. So to allow yourself to call in your own unique appreciation. And I like the idea of a wellspring. It's sensing and acknowledging that the gladness of heart, the joy that I invite you to consider is not dependent on external conditions, which are always shifting under our feet, aren't they? They're unreliable. So it's like a lake that's being nourished, being fed by an underground stream, a spring rather, a wellspring of fresh, cool water. This is a translation from the classical teachings. And so the fresh water isn't coming from rain or external sources. It's being replenished from within. And we can start by tasting this wellspring, by relaxing and softening our body. Noticing where there might be contraction, gripping, tension, pain. Is it possible to soften around it with the eyes of present moment awareness, to tend to it with care? Not forcing or trying to come up with any intended outcome, but caring for, tending to, with the warmth and the light of your present moment awareness. Somebody who was new to meditation asked an experienced teacher, when is a good time for me to practice? And the teacher, in all their wisdom, said, practice when it's the better alternative. So the more we cultivate mindful awareness, a steady mind that can be with, that can accompany different objects of focus. Many of you are experienced practitioners. You can work with breath, with sounds, with sensations in the body, with open awareness. And the more we cultivate it, the clearer it becomes that it is a better alternative. Hanging out in the world of thinking, deflating thoughts might come along, rumination, projecting into the future, repetitive stories, the strong pull and push of craving, of aversion, of wanting this, not liking that. We begin to see that that's not the joy, that's not where this wellspring is to be found. It's to be found in the better alternative of present moment awareness. And I want to be clear, this is not a moralistic statement or a judgmental approach of mindfulness is better than distraction. No, it's an invitation to see in your own experience, is it true? If the mind drifts away, which it might do several times, when you recognize, when you realize that you're elsewhere, pausing and gently returning back to the here and now. Notice the tendency to yank or to hurry the mind someplace. We're unlearning the habit to rush, to get somewhere, and relearning what it is to simply be. And for the last few minutes of practice, the encouragement is to sense places in the body, places in the heart, where there may be ease, there may be joy, pleasant sensations. And to open to them, to turn up the volume. As one of my teachers says, amplify it. Let the nervous system taste it without the added fear of, is this going to last? What if it goes away? I don't trust this. I don't deserve this. Notice those voices if they are at all present for you. And allow yourself to be with and to grow the good. This work is essential to increase the capacity of our hearts to be with all things, the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows. Last few minutes in quiet contemplation together. Last minute or so, if you find that you're elsewhere, encouraging yourself to begin again. It's not a problem that the mind wanders, and we don't need to make it into one. offering yourself unconditional positive regard. For showing up this morning. This is not an easy practice. And yet, whatever we encounter when we take our seat, when we come into stillness and quietude, is workable. When you feel ready, taking your time as we bring the practice to a close, and gently fluttering the eyes open. And as you do that, you might want to, instead of looking straight at the screen, just let them take in your space, colors, shapes. You might want to just feel your feet again on the ground, kind of situate yourself back in the present moment. And then you're invited, and I see Suzanne is modeling for us, to stretch, to move in any way that feels good to you. Thank you so much for your practice. I admit I snuck in a little bit longer meditation today. So I hope that you found that of benefit. And if you really struggle through it, to trust that you showed up and just let it do its thing. You just never know how the fruits might unfold in their own time, in their own way. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Zeenat. And a lovely practice. I have to say, I was, when you mentioned not to look right at the screen, I first looked outside and then I turned and looked at my dog. Talk about stillness. He's just, we can really learn from our pets that he's just, anytime I say I'm going to meditate, he comes running into the room. It's really,
oh, wow.
Really quite remarkable. It's,
oh, it's so good to have furry companions. You know, they have their priorities right.
They sure do. The other thing I noticed as well was I loved the how you said deflating thoughts. I really like that, and the way I took it in was deflating thoughts. We can kind of let them in our out breath. I like to kind of feel that in my practice many times, is letting go of those deflating thoughts as we breathe out. So it's almost it works together, the deflating of the breath.
I love that. And I think it sounds like you resonated, Suzanne, with it's an evocative image. You know, you can feel it somatically in the body, the weight, those thoughts, the heaviness of them, and they really kind of deflate the soma. You feel it, you know, the felt sense of like kind of get small. And so to just let them, not trying to push them away, but let them, and to just know the difference between that and then the opposite of deflation, of elation, and how different that is. Of the elating thoughts. I didn't think of that before, but they do lift us. They lift us up, you know, and we take an upright posture when we practice.
Yes. And we actually, on the last Wednesday session, we actually practiced on dissolving. Like I had a teacher that used the term dissolving, and I really connected with that as well. So, yeah. Teresa had a question. When you soften the pain around a tired shoulder muscle or hand during meditation, do you then move your attention elsewhere or stay there?
Thank you for that question, Teresa. I would say experiment, see, because I think, and bring in this practice of deep listening. So when you're tending to a difficult physical sensation or a place in the body where there are multiple challenging sensory things going on, to tend to, and then listen, check in with that part to see, and you can even drop in the question, what is needed? To kind of go with that. So to see, because it'll be different depending on how your experience of tending to is unfolding. Sometimes if you're tending to and it gets more intense, it can be wise to back off and go somewhere else in the body where there's more ease to sort of resource, which is what we were doing today. We were resourcing ourselves with goodness, and then you can go back. So you're sort of pendulating, or you're opening slowly, titrating. Sometimes if you're feeling done, if that part is, the pain may not be totally gone, but if it's like, okay, I've had enough, then you can move. So you just kind of play. And I wanted to, Janice, I wanted to offer that phrase, grow the good, is from a teacher called Rick Hansen. And if it resonated for you, check out Rick, because he is a wonderful teacher, and he has he's a neuroscientist and a deep long-time practitioner, has a lot of resources and information around that concept of growing the good. Yeah, so you might enjoy that.
Yeah, and he does a regular Wednesday night sit meditation. He's in California, so it's late. I found I can't remember, it might even be 10 o'clock Eastern, but I think he has the recordings up on his site too. He's really great.
Yeah, he's wonderful, really a dear. So
yeah. So this has been a wonderful opportunity for folks to really open up to this. I don't know, I feel like it's almost a new season. Not yet. I just feel like it's maybe it's, when you were mentioning about opening up to the light, or that kind of a practice, I feel that I'm noticing the extra light and the optimism.
Yeah. Let's hope that even though, we were talking about working with external conditions wisely, etc., we can still hope that external conditions around us continue to support this hopefulness, because after the past 2 years, we could all use some of that. So
absolutely. Yes. And I'll also share the link for our Wednesday morning session. We will be talking about befriending the mind and how that can be helpful in our practice. So hoping that folks can join. We've had a really great group of folks. Just being able to have that live interaction has been great to be together in that way. So thank you, Zeenat. This has as well, when you mentioned about Zoom being a silver lining, boy, it really has been. So, and it's just wonderful to have you here, and your wise meditation leading, as well as your wise words. We've really enjoyed that.
A pleasure, as always. Thank you. It's good to be with everyone.
Nice to have you here, and hope to see you again soon, and hope everyone has a good rest of your day. So see you soon. See you either tomorrow morning or Thursday as well. So thanks for joining.
Bye.